So, does anyone care to touch on this further?
He said the courageous individual's first and simplest step is this: I'm just not going to take part in that lie. Not in my words, not in my silence, not in my fear. I will not take part of that. Lincoln, the nation is...
Well, in that case, I was pretty dadgum courageous in leaving MAGA because I couldn't support the lies and hatred anymore. By Glenn Beck's logic, that is. My name is Jerry. I left MAGA. And in this video, we're talking about Glenn Beck. And he's got this urgent warning on it for about the rise of political violence in America. I kind of previewed a little bit of this, and he makes a couple of interesting comments. I'll point them out when we get there. Let's go ahead and check this out.
Our good friends at Turning Point USA had to issue this statement. Erica Kirk, wife of late conservative icon Charlie Kirk, received some very serious threats in her direction, prompting her absence from the event in Athens, Georgia. She was supposed to address, the students. She said, "I was so looking forward to tonight's event."
What's up with the camera moving? If you're prone to motion sickness, I'm sorry, but this for me anyway. But what's up with that?
University of Georgia with our Vice President, J.D. Vance. But after all our family has been through, I take my security team's recommendations extremely seriously. Thank you for your amazing Georgia chapter, for all of your support. God bless you all. Can we please leave this woman alone? Can we? Can we? Please? Just leave her alone. What do you say? We don't leave her without a mother? And I don't know which side I'm talking to. I don't know if I'm talking to the radical left or the real radical, dangerous right, or those who call themselves the right. I don't know.
That's interesting, huh? He's calling out violent actions on his side of the fence.
But we got to,
and at the same time, he's calling for peace for Erica.
We have to start saying, all of us, that violence is not acceptable.
I agree. Violence is not acceptable.
If we normalize this, we have really dark days ahead of us.
Maybe you should have talked to Greg Bavino about that.
Saturday, Harmeet Dillon chimed in on another friend of ours, Turning Point USA's Frontlines reporter, Savannah Hernandez, a friend of the program.
Now, I used to listen to Savannah, and I liked her. She's cute and everything. But anyway, I've known her to distort facts, and I think we're about to see that.
Former Blaze employee, and somebody I have a lot of respect for.
In fact, Savannah left the Blaze around the same time that good grief, Elijah Schaefer left.
She was there are multiple videos out. She was up in, I think it was Minnesota. Yeah, she was up in Minnesota, and she was attacked by a mob. And you can see all the videos.
Attacked by a mob. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
She was exposing, the radicals against ICE, and she was there, and she was attacked, and she was going to be on the show today. And I
don't know if you've been paying attention to stuff on the internet, but there has been plenty of evidence presented of right wing streamers going out and stirring up nonsense and then catching it on film and editing out the agitation and only leaving in the response, and then blaming the left for being violent. That's a very common play with domestic abusers as well. They'll instigate the problem, and then they'll blame you for reacting. It's deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. It's called DARVO.
got this note from her. Glenn, I never would turn you down, but I'm struggling with some dizziness and head pain today, and had to end up canceling all of my appearances for the day. Please, my sincerest apologies. I have a mild concussion. I just need a day to recover. Ricky wrote her and said, "Oh my gosh, I hope you're okay, blah, blah, blah. She said, please tell Glenn, I'm extremely grateful for him covering the story, and I would definitely be on if I was feeling better. I did a couple."
I wonder what Savannah was saying before that guy wrongly attacked her. I'm just saying, he's in the wrong. But I don't know what she was doing to agitate him to get that response so they could be caught on film.
Couple of hits yesterday, but by the end of the day, I just felt really ill, and I just haven't felt normal since. First, let me tell you about real estate agents I trust.
Oh, good grief. Let's get past this commercial. I don't want to hear about real estate agents you trust. You're a Trump supporter. And I got proof on that too. I got real good proof on that. In fact, that's the other part of the twofer.
Agentsitrust.com. So I want to talk to my friends, and I want to talk to you as well, because I have been there. My first death threat happened in 2007, 2006. I think it was 2007. I was on a tour for the Christmas sweater, and we had serious death threats. My tour bus was run off the road.
I don't remember his tour bus getting run off the road. I suspect that if they were pushing real hard, the driver may have fallen asleep at the wheel. Knowing these people, it's possible that the driver was drunk. I don't know. Um, then again, Glenn Beck is a Mormon, so maybe there's no alcohol or caffeine on his tour bus. But by the way, Glenn, I lost count of the number of death threats I received on my way out of MAGA and afterwards.
It was a scary time. And I know what happens. You immediately think, it's not worth this. It is not worth this. My friends, my friend, we are in a time that is thick with credible threats. And that's happening because the powers that you name, the liars, the corrupt, the enemies of the Bill of Rights and the Western inheritance, have marked you.
You're talking about Trump, right? You're talking about him being the one that's doing that? Oh, of course not. You're a Trump fan.
They want you silent. They want you gone for a reason. And I know,
Fear mongering.
because I have been there. I have heard that voice that whispers lies in your head. The oldest temptation. Stop. It's not worth it. Step back. Somebody else can carry it.
Sounds to me like he's trying to set up some plausible deniability because he's been complicit in building up Trump and that whole rhetoric, and now he's trying to backpedal. That's what it sounds like to me, anyway. Hmm.
Please hear me. Hear it from the marrow of every soul who ever stood where you stand right now. You were born for times such as this.
Oh, that quote from Esther. It's so exhausting. It's so exhausted. But yeah, I have this particularly unique set of skills because of where I came from. Um, anyway,
Do you imagine the Lord is searching the earth today for somebody less frightened than you? Do you think he's hunting for a heart that's never trembled? It's not true. He's not. Every hero you knew felt the same terror that you feel now. Every last one of them.
um, I'm gonna call BS on that simply because of the fact that the fear that most people are feeling right now, especially the folks over in the MAGA side, is not the same as the fear of being in combat, which I don't know. I know the fear of almost being in combat. I know the fear of wondering if I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning with orders to deploy to North Africa. I know what that feels like. Um, but and that's nothing like that. That's way more intense than anything we've experienced that I've experienced so far with this administration. Anyway, back to Glenn.
They were all afraid. Read their words. Even Christ was in the garden, bleeding from every pore, laying on his face, begging.
No, no, he was not bleeding from every pore while praying in the garden. Oh my goodness.
Father, please, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. The sinless Son of God tasted the full weight of what was coming. He knew, and he still rose. And said, nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. Imagine how afraid he was. He didn't cease to be afraid in order to obey. He obeyed while and in spite of him being afraid.
Well, those are encouraging words, that's for sure.
That's the only courage that has ever changed the world.
Excuse me? That's the only courage that's ever changed the world. Man, that's a mighty specific claim. So, the invention of the pipe organ didn't change the world. The invention of penicillin didn't change the world. The courage to experiment with the penicillin. Um, how about how about tasting foods? How about figuring out which mushrooms we can eat and can't eat? Anyway, courage. That's the only courage. Oh, good grief.
Bonhoeffer standing against the Nazi machine.
Oh, you keep Dietrich Bonhoeffer's name out of your mouth. The man was a pacifist. And yeah, sure, oh, hmm, go back and reference my reading of Dietrich Bonhoeffer's definition of stupidity is based on morals, not intelligence.
Silence in the face of evil is evil itself. God will not hold us guiltless. Not to speak is to speak. Not to act is to act.
What? I mean, to choose to if you got two choices and you decide not to make a choice, you've still made a decision. But that doesn't equate to not taking action is taking action. Um, the lack of is not the presence of.
He didn't escape the noose by being quiet. He escaped the greater death, the death of the soul that refuses to live by truth.
What does that even mean? And it wasn't a noose, it was a cross.
Stolichnician, rotting in a
Oh, he was talking about Bonhoeffer. I don't think Bonhoeffer was hung. I think he was shot. He might have been hung. I'll have to double check on that. And then he goes to invoke Nietzsche.
Stolichnician, rotting in a gulag for the crime of refusing the lie, gave us the simplest, most explosive command ever written for people who speak, who feel compelled to speak, but are afraid. Live not by lies.
Well, then you better leave Trump.
He wrote, let their rule hold not through me. He said the courageous individual's first and simplest step is this: I'm just not going to take part in that lie. Not in my words, not in my silence, not in my fear. I will not take part of that. Lincoln, the nation is...
Well, in that case, I was pretty dadgum courageous in leaving MAGA because I couldn't support the lies and hatred anymore. By Glenn Beck's logic, that is.
tearing itself apart. The guy knew he was going to die. He knew it. He wrote, "It often requires more courage to dare to do the right thing than to fear to do the wrong."
Yeah, courage is acting without permission, not waiting for permission. If you see something that needs to be done and it's the right thing to do, it's best to act. Inaction is not action.
One of my favorite lines from him is, "Let us have the faith that right makes might. And in the faith, let us, to the end, dare to do our duty as we understand it."
Oh, as you understand it. So your interpretation of the duty. Um, I have to remember, Glenn, that you were never in the military, so you didn't take an oath of commission or oath of enlistment. So I guess you don't have that guiding light.
He didn't wait until he was brave. He dared while the threats were real. Martin Luther King, literally bombs at his door. People shooting into his front room with his children in the other room. Death threats by mail. He still cried out.
Death threats by mail from the FBI.
Courage is an inner resolution to go forward despite the obstacles. He told us, build dikes of courage to hold back the flood of fear.
And yet your side villainizes Martin Luther King because of the fact that he was a black man and he didn't live up to certain moral credentials that certain white men don't either. I mean, Trump's on what, his third wife? And he cheated on his third one with a porn star while she was at home with a newborn baby. Anyway,
Night before he died, he talked about going to the mountaintop. I may not make it there with you. He knew the mountaintop view included a cross, but he climbed it anyway. Which brings me back to you and people like you. The cup hasn't passed. The threats are real. The fear is honest. But the calling is louder.
so wait. The threats are real. Which threats are you referring to? I mean, this is pretty vague, but I've heard you call out Sharia law, but I have never heard you call out Joel Webben, who is presenting the Christian version of a theocratic religious system, a theological legal system like Sharia is to Islam. Joel Webben is to Christian nationalism in his desires.
Concentrate on the calling. You have already spoken the truth where others just whispered. You've already exposed the rot when others just politely ignored it.
And earlier in this video, you said you didn't know if you were talking to the radical left or the radical right, or those who call themselves the right who are radical. And yet you're going to go ahead and give out words like this. Man, you need to be careful with that microphone.
You've already defended the rights that our fathers and forefathers bled for and the civilization our mothers prayed would endure. You know you can't.
Wait. Are you talking to veterans there, or are you just talking to Americans in general?
Prayed would endure. You know you can't lay it down now, because if you do, the lie wins another inch.
You can't lay it down now because you're too emotionally invested. You have to hang on to it no matter what. Glenn, Glenn, dude. No, they don't. No, they don't have to carry a burden they're not comfortable with. They don't have to carry a burden because of some ideological adherence.
And the corruption breathes easier. And the Bill of Rights becomes one more relic in a museum of forgotten freedoms.
I'm gonna go back to Trump. They're wanting to take away women's voting rights. That's what the 27th Amendment, I think. They've ignored the 14th and 15th Amendments when it comes to due process for immigrants and American citizens that they've snatched off the streets that weren't white enough and children. Um, I remember Trump advancing the notion of no guns for trans people, so that's a violation of the Second Amendment. Glenn, Glenn, you're losing, buddy. You're way off base. Yeah. You're talking like a lefty through a right wing lens, to be honest.
But to all those with ears, if you stand, trembling maybe, yes, but if you stand, the lie is pierced. The corrupt are put on notice. And somewhere, a young man or a young woman watching you will learn that courage is not the absence of fear, it's the refusal to let fear write your ending.
Oh boy. So you should ignore a bear in your face? You should just be brave enough to ignore the possibility of your ending rather than making a better decision, leaning on that fear to stay alive. Oh, good grief, man. Fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Those are the four fear responses, the four F's. Dude, dude, don't freeze when you can get out of the way. Good grief. Oh man, your advice is so horrible.
The Lord is asking all of us to stand. What an honor.
Which Lord? You're a Mormon. You're a Mormon who's a Christian nationalist, and Mormons aren't even Christians. It's just in the name of their organization. Anyway,
What an honor. He's not looking for a fearless vessel. He knows that doesn't exist. He's just asking for a faithful one.
yeah, when, oh, good grief.
So heal, sister, and rise stronger than before. Let the powers rage. Let the threats come. Let the night howl. You were born for this hour. Say it with Stolichnician. Their rule will not hold through me. Say it with Bonhoeffer. I will not be silent. Say it with Lincoln. I'll dare to do my duty. Say it with King. I will keep moving.
He's picking villains in the eyes of MAGA, so I don't know what's going on here. The emotions are a nice touch, though.
Say it with Christ, nevertheless. My will, not my will, but thine. The cup is bitter, but it's yours. Drink it and watch what God does with one woman, one man who refuses to quit.
Oh my God. That's some like Jim Jones nonsense there. I don't know if you've ever listened to the Jim Jones tapes from that last day, but that's the vibe I'm getting from this dude right now.
The ages are watching. The West is watching. Your children are watching. Your children's children are watching. So stand and live not by lies.
Thank you for thinking for yourself and
Thank you for thinking for
being
yourself.
part of a movement, because
COVID-19 trust implosion. All right. A link to that will be in the description below. Let's go ahead and take a look at this other video. It's from the Right Wing Watch. It just dropped a little bit earlier. Um, just like, yeah, just a few minutes ago. Glenn Beck hails Trump as the ultimate immigration success story. That's why I'm doing a twofer, folks. Buckle up. Of course, I always leave the disclaimers in place because they're valid. As we were doing our research for this evening, and I was looking at the names of the people who came, Tina picked the date. She secured the building. She did all of the hard work. And as she gave me the date, I thought, I wonder if this date has any significance in history with Ellis Island. I want to tell you a story of a young woman in particular that you probably have never heard of. Her name is Mary Ann. She was born on the remote island of Lewis in Scotland. This is a place of hard, scrapping life, high winds. It was 1930. She was 18 years old, and she got on a boat to come to Ellis Island in 1930 on May 2nd. Today is the anniversary. She arrived here 11 days later. She was bound for Ellis Island and the United States of America. I want to show you a picture. It's a painting that I did, and then I ran out of time and talent, and so I asked a good friend of mine to help me, Mike Malm, who is an amazing portrait artist. This is how I envisioned her coming into the United States. She came here, she wasn't chasing fame, she wasn't chasing riches or power. She came just for the opportunity. Her sister was already here and found a job. And so she decided to come. She stood in this room and wrote her name down, Mary Ann McLeod. And next to it, what's your job? Domestic. She and her sister were maids. She came to America knowing that she would serve and clean the houses and the toilets of the wealthy families here in New York. And she roomed with her sister together. And they lived and worked hard through the worst days of the Depression, and she persevered. She's here for 6 years, and she meets a man. She marries him. His name is Fred. He was the son of German immigrants. In 1942, she became a citizen, and Mary and Fred would end up having 5 children, 2 daughters and 3 sons. And one of those sons, they named him Donald. Her son would become a real estate tycoon. Her son would change that skyline. That's the skyline that she saw. Look out that window and look at that skyline. Her son, a woman who came here as a maid, the lowest of jobs, would raise a son who would become a real estate mogul and the 45th and 47th president of the United States of America. Scotland, give us your wretched refuse. Send them to us. See what the people you deem not worthy. See what happens to them here in America. So Scotland, Senator Rabble, and we'll turn them into kings. I mean, presidents. Good grief. All right. Well, that's enough for one video. Um, so take away what you will from these 2 videos that I presented to you together. I really seriously am getting some Jim Jones vibes off of Glenn Beck. It's like on the show he's warning people about taking a stand, even though he doesn't know who he's talking to, and then how great Trump is. So I don't know, man. Um, I'll let you figure out what you think. Let me know what you think actually in the description or in the comments below. Links to both of these videos will be in the description. And if you made it to the end of the video, it tells me that you are looking for information with receipts. That said, if you haven't yet, please subscribe Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Share it with somebody that you think might benefit from it. Also, please take care of yourself so you can help take care of others. Get the rest you need, drink those fluids, and remember, mental health matters.